So we have kind of a tall order in this podcast. It's always the challenge when you're talking to people who are making decisions or are hearing something for the first time. You want to keep it simple, but the problem is if you keep it simple, you lack a lot of the depth, and if you go into depth, you lose the big picture, right? So I would probably say we're doing a moderate job, and that's I'll take the responsibility for maybe making people understand the P.A.P.I model completely. I think we might have gotten their attention and we might have gotten their interest. We don't know if we've gotten the desire and action yet, but we can work on that. And I'm gonna pick up an adage because I'm really thrilled that you've taken the time to sit down with me and talk about this, because I truly believe that leaders are constantly looking for things that will make their life easy. It's not going to relieve us of the work that needs to be done, but it should carry us further down the road if we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And the wheel that we invent is not as good as the wheels that exist. So one of the things I like to do, and I take this from a German saying. I don't know if you're familiar with this German saying. I think it's probably more Austrian than it is German. In Austria, we say, when you're trying to explain something, somebody important who needs to make a decision, you need to explain it to them as if they're 7 years old, a housewife, a houseman, or a board member. Now, board members could theoretically get offended by this, but it kind of ties into the nature of their job. They're at the tip of the pyramid, so there's few of them. They have to know everything, a little bit about everything, which makes life difficult, and they have to be able to focus. So this concept of elevator pitch is important. I'm also going to use the classical NLP approach. If you want to make somebody interested in something, give them a kind of put it in a storyline into a concept that they can listen to, and even if they don't understand it 100%, they feel it. So I'd like to try this with you. If I were the CEO of a mid-sized company based in German-speaking DACH region, right? Germany, Austria. And let's say I have 4 different locations and over 1,000 employees. And I feel the need, because it's difficult to get resources at the moment. You know, good people are hard to find. And I want to provide a healthy environment where I attract the right resources and I can develop them as well and create loyalty and commitment to my company. And I went to Talergy, right? What would be the process, and how would you be able to help me in that process? Kind of maybe talk us through what would be the preliminary steps, what would be the follow-up steps if you guided us through a process of maybe a year. What would something like that look like?
Well, thank you for your question, CEO Mark. It really depends on your budget and what you want. So
I'm going to do a cultural answer here.
I think the answer is very simple. The more information you have about the hires, the better you can onboard them, the better you can develop them in their positions, as well as increase how a person goes into the job as well. Do you take the time to get to know me? How do the feedback situations look like? What is the experience for that employee is extremely important nowadays. And now we're talking about top talent, right? The ones that have options and that have offers on the table. How are we going to get them? As in, you are important to me. We are going to look at various aspects that the job requires, as well as who you are. How can we invest in that? And personality assessments will give you those answers. You can do that in different formats, through a guided interview, through assessments and feedback, through...
Let's say I'm on board. What would be the process that we would go through? I'm hiring you guys. I guess what I kind of hear out of what you're saying, if I have, 1,000, 3,000, 500, 1,000, whatever, how many employees I have, we would probably have to pick out the focus group. Or the question is, are we doing all of my employees? Is that a possibility to do all your employees?
To assess for new positions?
Well, I mean, you can use the P.A.P.I system not only for new hires, you could use it for developing.